We're here for some really
Uplifting.
uplifting boating accidents.
It doesn't really look very linear. It looks very...
No, not
Like
linear.
like
Lanier.
Lanier,
Oh.
not linear. Lanier. Lanier.
And also good behavior because you can't drink and drive your boat on the lake with kids in the lake in prison?
They tried again, and the engine exploded.
If you're not familiar, I would describe him as Donald Trump meets Simon Cowell. She told police that she only had one drink and it was after the accident.
So they hear a man yelling in the water, holding onto this boogie board attached to a speedboat that's going in circles. Their relationship ends up becoming more turbulent as time goes on. Can you imagine?
Oh my God, almost like there's a pattern.
Right.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Coast Files, your podcast for ocean mysteries and true crime. I'm Chantel.
I'm Lindsay.
And I'm Meghan.
Hello again,
Hello.
ladies.
Happy after Halloween.
I know.
What
Spooky
actual day in November
season
does this?
is- I
The
think
fifth.
it's like
No way to
the
know.
5th or something. I
Yeah,
don't know.
the 5th.
That
Yeah, probably
sounds
is
right.
snowing.
Remember,
It's cold.
remember. The 5th of
We can't even,
November.
like-
Oh my God. How come we didn't do Guy Fawkes crimes?
Oh.
Oh,
Shit.
damn. I mean,
Oh.
did they happen by the ocean?
Is England by the ocean? Yeah.
It is, I guess so. Everything in England's now up for grabs.
You know what? In real life, Halloween hasn't happened yet, but I'm still sad about it because it's just like
Yeah.
it's flying at me
know.
so fast, and I
know.
hate it.
What
Right.
happened
But I
to
do like the
October?
holidays, so in like probably after Remembrance Day, I'm gonna start decorating.
That's fine, but you know what's not okay? Going to Costco and seeing that giant skeleton that's like pushing its way out of the ground, and then next to it is Christmas
Is it
stuff.
Christmas tree?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
I know. I went
It's
to
actually
the-
holding a Christmas tree.
I went to the mall with Grayson last weekend, and there was a lot of Christmas decorations up. And Grayson was like, What's going on, Mom?" I'm like, "I know,
You're raising
Even
them
I
right.
terrible."
Didn't understand that. This was
Yeah.
like this was before October. I went to Dollarama because I got a bunch of like Halloween themed crafts for my
Mhm.
niece and nephew.
Mhm.
And and they had half the aisles were Halloween and half the aisles were Christmas. This was September. I know.
That's crazy.
I know.
The-
Those
okay,
were both.
so I get irrationally mad, but then I realize that in August, I'm like, Halloween. So I'm part of the problem.
Right.
Just different. I'm part
Okay,
of the
but, like,
minority.
But I would be more accepting if it was like halfway through October that they started putting out the Christmas stuff. Let Halloween have a little bit of time. Just a little bit.
It is halfway
I'm
through.
a
and
firm
I'm still
believer
upset.
that
September
until
was
the
not
end of
halfway through.
October,
Yeah, no, that's
and then you should respect Remembrance Day, so I should be after that. Then bam,
Yes.
holidays. That's
Yeah.
my philosophy.
in
on it.
general, no one cares about anything anymore. Nothing matters, and that's kind of how it's going.
Yeah, that's fair.
I have a drink of my adult beverage. Oh, it's in a pumpkin. You can
Yeah.
pry these
Still
pumpkins out of my
holiday.
cold dead
I
hands.
have a skull. I
Oh,
have the
that's
skull
not-
glass.
well, I use my regular glass since Halloween's over.
Yeah, well, you have a
Mm-mm.
normal glass, so that's
Yes,
it's still nice.
It fits my beverage really well. There's lots of
Yes,
room
Mine's
to spare.
the
just-
vibes.
Nice warm soda water.
You goddamn.
That's disgusting. The warm part.
A nice glass of water to warm your hands up on this cold
Uh-huh.
day.
Yeah, it is cold in here. It would suck to hold something cold right now.
I'm just
I
so
can't
glad that
drink
you're in the
water
minority of this and we can
warm.
bully you about it.
Yeah. Well, unless
Okay,
it's
well.
tea, maybe, but yeah, no, I like
That's-
cold
no.
ice.
I know, okay, tea
Yeah,
is
coffee is
essentially
definitely hot water.
Okay, but like you're not wrong. Tea
It's
is
hot bean juice
It's
water,
not
actually.
only water.
Tea is much closer to being just
Yeah.
water than coffee
Yeah.
is, though.
Exactly.
Coffee
you,
has
Is
a
Megan.
it?
whole
It's still just a filtered
No,
thing
because the
that
Megan
color
it's
is
going
so
through.
different.
Would you like to share a cold beverage with me? Since Chantel
Yeah,
doesn't
a
want to.
cold.
Thank you.
Cheers, Lindsay. Cheers.
Cheers.
Cold beverage.
Whatever. Don't even want to be friends. Friends off. Okay. What are we here for today? We're here for some really
Uplifting.
lovely, uplifting boating accidents where I was
Nature.
like, guys, I
Mm.
should go first because mine's really sad. And then they're both like, yeah, it's boating accidents. Like,
Yeah, I was actually trying really hard, guys, to find something
Happy,
that
uplifting.
wasn't maybe not uplifting, but something that was like not like death, but it was something like, they solved a crime or like
God.
something happened.
And
like,
did
it was
you?
actually good.
yeah.
Well,
No,
a crime
I can
was
tell by your
solved.
face.
But
okay.
Like in the
did
moment by
nothing bad
police?
happen.
Okay.
No, it wasn't from
okay.
that. Yeah, it was.
Got you.
I also was searching just boating accidents, and it kept being like, "How about the Titanic?" I'm like, "No, that doesn't count."
Love where your
I
head's
wish.
at.
I know. I'm like,
Love
thank
the
you,
energy.
That would have
Google.
been really funny if you're like, I'm just gonna a quick Titanic story.
Not sure if we've covered
Yeah.
this one yet. It's called the Titanic, and lots of stuff on this one.
And also suggested Empress of Ireland, which I've also covered,
Oh,
which
God.
was a very bad accident.
Yeah.
Well,
that was.
luckily there's boat accidents every day, so
All
you'll
over.
always have material.
I know most of my stuff is boat accidents, but
It
they're
really
just bigger,
is.
yeah.
yeah.
I guess we were going more like boating
Yes.
accidents.
So I
which
found one
feels different
eventually,
somehow.
like 2 days ago, and I was like, done that one.
Oh, amazing.
yeah.
Quick.
I've been
Yeah,
wanting to
I was
talk about this
struggling.
one for a long time, and so ironically enough, this is like the perfect venue to just talk about
Sagoo?
this. It's the perfect Sagoo
Mhm.
into this horrible event.
Right. And yours
Perfect.
happens on lakes, right? Both of
Yes.
yours?
Yes.
Okay, good. Because I was like, I picked one that's not on a lake specifically to not duplicate.
It's good, and I think that I lightly floated the idea out to you guys, and we didn't cover the same one, so I think we're
I
fine.
can't remember at all
Okay.
what you said that it was, but
Shit.
anyways, I'll get us.
I
I'll get
guess
us
I'll find
started
out. I'll
here.
find out in
Yeah.
10 minutes.
All right, let's start here because Chantel's mom is
I-
visiting and she needs to spend time with her.
Yes,
Yes.
exactly.
Hi, Yvonne. If you're listening to
Hi,
this, you were in the
She's-
next room.
I have headphones on. She can't
Okay.
hear
No,
it,
I know
think.
the
Well-
podcast, not
Oh,
the
right,
actual.
Yeah, she'll
guy.
listen
right.
later because she's a
God.
fan.
Jesus, you
I
went to
forgot
school
about
for
that part of
science. God damn it.
Okay. So, first, before I get into it, because I don't have like one specific boating accident. I have like kind of little tidbits about different things that have happened because it's more so about the lake a little bit, which I'm giving a teaser about this. And that's because I learned a lot about this lake and I'm going to go more in depth about this lake
Deb.
next week.
Oh,
This happens to you every
okay.
time you have a
So
topic.
you're
You're
leading
like,
up
there was
to
this
it.
other thing.
Yes. So
Okay.
I am I only have one photo. It's the one that you guys have up. This is Lake Lanier. Its given name is Lake Sydney Lanier, and it's a man-made lake in northern Georgia. And
know
it was
this
created
name.
It
in
doesn't really look very
1956.
linear. It looks very.
No, not
Not
like it has
like
linear.
Lanier,
Oh.
not linear, Lanier, Lanier.
Lanier. Okay.
Lindsay, that was so cute.
But you said linear, right?
No,
No, I
not
said
at all.
linear, Lanier.
I heard linear.
Oh, that's fair because honestly, it's one letter off. So
Okay, well now we know I'm
and
wrong.
Chantel's
sorry.
known to mispronounce words.
All
So
the
really, yeah.
Yeah.
I may have. Who
Well,
knows?
We'll see what
We'll see
the
when
transcript
when we-
says what they thought because
Roll the tape back.
sometimes-
Yeah,
Yeah, we all say
Can
words.
you
I'm like,
tell me again when the lake was formed? Because we were laughing at
Yes.
Lindsay's mishearing of the word.
It's okay. So it was man-made lake in northern Georgia, and it was created in 1956 after the completion of the Buford Dam in
Buford?
Chattahoochee. Buford, maybe, in Chattahoochee River. And it was also fed by the Chestatee River at the time, but I don't really get into that. The dam was created to provide a water source for the Atlanta area to power homes and prevent flooding of the Chattahoochee River. So it's massive. It's 59 square miles or 150 kilometers squared, and it covers 692 miles or 1,114 kilometers of shoreline.
That's a lot.
okay.
Yeah, you can see it kind of like goes into all of these different little like areas
Inlets
because
and-
yes, it's not very linear at
No.
all.
No.
Or soft edges. It looks like a
Yeah.
lightning
Right.
strike. It looks like a
Yeah,
fat
it's like a
lightning strike.
Yeah.
Yeah.
for
So
sure. Very fuzzy looking. I don't know.
the creation of this came with a very large price. And the area that was flooded was a town called Oscarville that was home to 250 families running businesses. It had graveyards. It had just everything you think that would be running in a small town would
That's
have.
so fucked up.
And it was also primarily a Black community that lived there.
There it is.
So
There it is.
there is a lot of racially charged movements being made during the decision making of building this dam as well. And I think I even read somewhere that they had already been racially displaced to this area
Oh my god.
beforehand. Yeah. So I get more into the history of that next week. And of course, there becomes more of an eerie element to all of this as well. But for now, we're just talking about the boating accidents. And since its creation, this lake has been a hot spot for swimming and boating. There have been an estimated 700 deaths since 1956. It's hard to track because there is no official data center on it. But this lake is huge. And it's had 7 deaths this year alone. Normally it
Oh my
averages 10
God.
deaths. And in 2023, it was a bit higher at around 13.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
Okay.
What is
One
happening?
Wow.
More. Oh, I get into it a little bit, but we'll get into more next week. One more notable and very sad accident was in July of 2012. And I want to apologize to Lindsay already because this is one of the reasons I wanted to go fast, but there are children who die a lot in this lake. So 11-year-old Kyle Glover, who is the stepson of well-known R&B singer Usher, was left brain dead after boating accident
my
later,
God.
and he was later taken off of life support.
Oh my God.
Kyle and another
Wow.
teen who was unnamed were both severely injured when tubing on the lake. They were being pulled by a boat when Jeffrey Hubbard, who I read in one article was actually a friend of the family, hit them on his jet ski.
Oh my gosh.
Hubbard was later found guilty of homicide by vessel and as well as reckless operation of a vessel. And his defense lawyer stated that he tried to avoid the children and what happened was just a tragic accident. But after his guilty sentence, a new bill was introduced in America to lower the blood alcohol limit to boat drivers to match car drivers. So
It
clearly,
wasn't
this is
So he
already?
was drunk.
Yeah,
So he
no,
has
it wasn't
like,
already.
So that's insane.
Oh my
And he
God,
probably
that
had a
is
very, very
crazy.
low reaction time and also going too fast. Therefore, you have
Yes.
no time to adjust, slow down, whatever.
Yes.
Yeah.
Wow.
Just as
Yeah.
dangerous, if not worse, on the water. Like,
Mm-hmm. Also, in 2012, the month before, in June, at 10:30 p.m., a fishing vessel was traveling at high speeds in the lake and crashed into a pontoon boat that had 13 people on board and ended tragically for 2 brothers.
Holy shit.
9-year-old Jake Prince
Oh.
died at the scene,
my
while
God.
13-year-old Griffin Prince was thrown overboard and his body was retrieved 9 days later, 113
Mm.
feet below the surface. Now get ready to get mad. 44-year-old Paul J. Bennett was operating the fishing boat and he fled the scene of the accident. The authorities found him later at 1:30 a.m. and charged him with boating under the influence. Sadly, he was only ever convicted with less safe boating under the influence and reckless operation of a vessel and was acquitted of homicide by vessel.
oh my
Huh?
And he was later released in 2015 for good behavior after his attorney filed a claim for unfair treatment in the Hall County Jail.
What? Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
So he served
You're not
2 years
supposed
for
to be
killing 2
treated that
children.
fair in jail.
And also good behavior because you can't drink and drive your boat on the lake with kids in the lake in prison?
Yeah. Yeah. So
Wow.
that was
I knew I
that
was gonna
one was
hate
upsetting
this
when
but
I read it. Yeah.
If this is like what
Mhm.
we're like 10 minutes in and I hate this a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm glad you did go first because
Yeah.
you're right.
It's not good. Yeah. The first major accident in 2025 was the death of Al Lethringer on April 18th, 2025. The 53-year-old was windsurfing when he was struck by a pontoon boat and killed.
These
Yeah.
damn pontoon boats,
Wow.
like what?
Well, the pontoon
hell?
boat and the other one, it wasn't their fault. They got hit.
Mm.
I
It was
just
the
feel like
fishing boat
don't.
that hit
I
him.
used to love pontoon boats. Now,
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. And then my last little depressing one is a story that happened. It's actually a little less depressing because everyone survives, but it's
Mhm.
Okay.
okay. So this happened on July 4th, 2025, near Margaritaville, which sounds
Okay.
fun.
Well, so far I like
I
all
mean,
of
I want to go
those.
there.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
this is the only
So,
good thing about the story so far.
Yeah,
Take me
so far
away.
is the sound of the town. Yes. So a family of 7 were having issues with their boat. Something about it stalling. Like they was working well all day and he couldn't get it to start. The father himself was like, this boat was actually in really good condition. Like he takes care of it. He's been driving for like 10 years or something. Like he's very well experienced. So they didn't know what happened. So it was stalled and he called to get a tow to come in. So the father and Captain Kendrick Perkins said that he had the tow come in, and it was when they were starting to wrap up the day. They were trying to get the engine to turn over. Apparently you turn on blowers or something first. I don't know how boats work. Something about turning on blowers and then turning on the engine, and it wasn't working. And so they got the tow to come in, and the tow couldn't figure out the reason why it wasn't working either. And then, so they tried to do it again, wasn't working. They tried again, and the engine exploded.
Oh my
How
God.
come I in my gut I was like someone's
Ugh.
gonna catch on fire.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kendrick and his wife rushed to save the children. I watched a little
Mm.
video of what Kendrick was saying, and he states, "My wife is the hero. She took control and she took control of everything, and all I knew was that we just had to get off the boat and fast." So they both ran in to like get all the children
Mhm.
away from the flames as much as they could. Kendrick and their 15-year-old son had some minor injuries. Their 13-year-old son had second-degree burns on his legs, but he was quickly
Oh my
released from the
God.
hospital.
Oh.
And his wife and their other 4 children, 12, 10, 8, and 5, were recovering from third-degree burns to their face, arms, hands, and feet.
Oh my
So they were
God.
still in the
Yeah.
hospital at the time of that interview, which was like mid-July, I think, a little bit later in July.
Oh.
So Kendrick actually met another man in the hospital whose wife and 3 kids were also there for burns for their boat exploding on another lake nearby the same day.
Oh.
Okay,
Oh
so
my
someone's
God.
going
Something's going
around tampering
on.
with engines.
Well, it was the exact same thing.
Yeah.
Like this guy was like, I have years and
Yeah,
years
that
of
doesn't make
experience. I
sense.
don't drink and drive. He's like, I did everything I was supposed to do. I turned the blowers on. We had the engine going. I think they were going to fill up their gas or something. And he was like, I did everything I was supposed to do. And their boat exploded.
Oh my God.
Yeah,
that doesn't
crazy.
make
I'm
sense.
shocked that no one got. I mean, like third-degree burns are incredibly serious. But the fact that no one
Mhm.
got, like
Yeah.
hurt or
So they
died.
were like, we're trauma bonded brothers now. We're here visiting our family who's
Aw.
like
Oh my
recovering from
God.
burns.
That's
Yeah.
really
Silver
sad.
lining.
Yeah. So, what makes Lake Lanier so popular for accidents? Well, it's just that it's popular. So, lakelanier.org states that they have 11.8 million visitors annually
That's a
on
lot.
this lake. There are lots
So,
of people
yeah.
who boat under the influence. There seems to be a general lack of signs and safety measures being put in place or enforced, crowded conditions, and tight spaces, as you can see from all those little
Very.
Little
right?
inlets and stuff. Yeah.
The little inlets, because there was another one that I didn't get into about 2 boats were involved in a collision in like one of those little inlets, and one was pulling tubers and the other one was pulling skiers, and they crashed into one another. I was reading like this whole thing on like a law website, and they were talking about like they did a reenactment of how it was, and like they had more than 6 feet of turn time. I don't know. It was like the way they did the reenactment was basically like both people are kind of at fault because they had enough time. Anyways, um, yeah, and it's just they have all these tubers. They have people who just go out there. They have, oh my God, there was this thing I saw. It was either on Facebook or Reddit, and it was these like 300 jet skiers were like, we're coming out on the lake, and all you boaters better not be there. This is the day that we're gonna be there. We're taking over. We're tired of you guys being in the way, and like we can't drive fast.
Yeah,
and
I
blah,
love
blah,
the
blah.
attitude.
Yeah.
Love it.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
positive.
And like it was this guy, and he's like this, and it's like this huge amount of people around them all on jet skis. Anyways, the jet skiers seem to be a little bit fucking crazy, but
I don't know. We've heard about jet skiers, but it's all
but
true.
I did see in the on the article itself, it was like it didn't happen. Apparently, authorities
Okay.
ended up getting notified, and they were like monitoring the
Well,
beaches
'cause he
and something
gave
about
them
like
ample
bad
notice
weather.
to
Yeah.
come arrest him.
Yeah, like bad weather the day that they were supposed to be going out as well. So the boaters were like, "Okay, go have fun." Like, that's
Yeah,
fine.
we're gonna be inside today.
Hey,
Yeah.
write in. What side of the beef were you on? Were you on the boat side or the skier side?
Yeah. And then of course there is other things that make it really unsafe. Like there's a lot of submerged hazards, like old roads, trees, buildings, all
Sorry,
of that
like,
kind of stuff.
I gotta hear about this next week because that is so creepy.
Yeah. Yeah. And of course then there's also the spooky elements that make it
Ooh.
another reason
Can
why.
you give us a little tiny tidbit
Oh,
right now?
there's all kinds of stuff. There's hauntings, there's curses, there's all kinds that I'll get
gosh,
into
okay.
next week.
Girls trip?
so, yes, actually.
From the shore, though.
And
maybe?
I think,
Yeah.
yeah, I think there actually was, you know how American Horror Story does the American Horror Story shorts now on Disney?
No. Oh, wait. Yes, I do. 'cause
Okay.
you
I
yelled
told
at
you about
me.
it. There
Yes.
was an episode. Yeah, I know I yelled at you multiple times
Yeah.
about this. There was an episode on there where they do it's about a lake and it has the same background. So I think it was loosely
Yeah.
based
Based
on
off.
Lake Lanier. Yeah.
Sure, sure.
Okay.
Because it's the same background about a town that had been flooded and how it was like cursed now and blah blah blah. So
Do you know that's actually pretty common to have a town submerged, like in the States?
yes,
at least.
I know that
It's-
I've definitely heard that before. So
Hmm.
I'm not surprised, I should say. But yeah, it's
I'm
that
disappointed,
was-
but not
okay.
surprised.
Yeah. Yeah. So that was my little depressing. I know it was pretty short, but
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
didn't want to talk
short
too much about all
and
the
so
I'm
sad, such a
curious
short
what
time. It's a
do people.
talent.
Well, you'll have to tell us next week if people dive to the town under the water
mean,
and stuff
There,
too.
there
we're gonna
has
get
to
into
be.
a lot next week.
Okay.
But yeah, so it's there was obviously a crap ton more accidents that I could have got into, but I didn't because those were the ones that I was like, these are just getting more and more sad the more that I read.
Well, if Chantel whetted your appetite, tune in. I can't even speak.
Turn
Tune
in.
Turn in. Good night. But come and listen next week when she'll go into hopefully some more
Mhm.
depths
Mm,
about the creepiness and the stories.
Oh.
I do apologize for that. I'm very tired.
Megan's punny.
Are we ready for my also depressing case?
Yes.
Yeah, I guess
Okay.
so.
So open up your photos.
Mhm.
And Chantel, just in advance, I can combine some of these for you. I just thought that
Okay.
for the story, they're separate. So you can open up picture 1 while I kind of set the scene here.
Okay.
Get ready to be annoyed, okay?
Okay.
It was
go.
a beautiful August day on Lake Joseph. Families were making the most of the good weather by cruising on their pontoon boats
Oh,
Oh.
okay.
and motorboats during the day and enjoying the setting sun on the dock with a glass of wine or huddled around a fire pit telling old stories. That's not
Oh, that sounds
That does sound
nice.
kind of nice. I won't lie.
You're
Sounds
starting this
ideal.
off really well.
Oh, because it was a lovely day. It's more the night that was the problem. So if you look at the map here, it
Mhm.
just more or less shows you in relation to Toronto. I'll talk a little bit about the
Mhm.
area. I think a lot of Ontarians at least know the area, but I don't think a lot of Canadians or really anyone else in the world would. So
Right.
Lake Joseph is located in Ontario, cottage country called Muskoka. And this area is called the smallest and most exclusive lake, with its shoreline dotted with summer homes so splendid they make a mockery of the term cottage.
Okay.
Oh,
So
okay.
it's above my price range for sure.
Yeah. Yeah.
One of the
This goes
more
under things I'll never afford.
correct. I've been to one, Lindsay.
Okay.
You have too.
Yes. Yeah.
But
Oh.
there and we brought a pontoon boat. Yeah, Chantel, you didn't come to this one. Where were you?
I think I was working or I wasn't like
Hmm.
officially invited. I can't remember.
Well, you didn't
No,
miss
you were
much.
definitely invited, but
Okay,
feel
then
like you'd be
I must
invited.
have been working
Yeah.
because it was normally on the weekends and I worked every
Yeah.
weekend because I worked in
It was
restaurants.
like nothing bonkers happened, but just a very
Yeah.
nice building, nice on the lake, and pontoon boats were ridden and it was nice.
I know I do like a pontoon boat.
I thought I did. Now I'm not
Yeah.
sure.
Well,
Okay.
when they're on a calm lake and
During
someone
the
else
day.
is handling all the work.
So one of the most infamous Canadians who has property on Lake Joseph is the Dragon Den's favorite guy to hate, the meanest shark in the Shark Tank, Mr. Wonderful, also known as Kevin O'Leary. If you're not familiar, I would describe him as Donald Trump meets Simon Cowell.
Oh.
Do you really not know who Kevin O'Leary is?
I probably
Yeah, I do.
recognize the name
Okay.
and when
Chantel,
I
if
see the
you-
face, I
Yes.
probably will.
There's a photo
Yeah,
of him a
he's
little
a very
bit later.
blunt, sometimes controversial person.
I'd say, yeah. Well, anyway,
I-
he's
I
kind of he's kind of right wing,
Yeah.
but not all the time. But he's very
Yeah.
pro business, but like at the
I gotta look
expense
him up
of.
quickly just so I remember. Oh yeah, yeah. I
You'll-
recognize the face.
yeah, you'll know.
Okay.
So O'Leary and his wife Linda have a home on the lake, and they use their boat to visit friends, also on the same lake, which is like instead of driving, you just drive your boat over. And
Yeah.
they were enjoying all that the lake life had to offer. One Toronto Life article described their home as, even by monster cottage standards, the residence of Kevin and Linda O'Leary stands out.
Oh, damn.
Oh.
Okay.
The article goes on to describe the home, and like you hate this guy, but his home
Yeah.
sounds beautiful.
Like I want to
Hmm.
visit.
Yeah.
Like if I was
Yeah.
invited
Like, I
over.
want- yeah, like
Yeah, I would.
you let
and I
us
would
stay, and you when you're not
you're
there.
not there, but
Mhm.
Yeah,
we're
yeah.
there. So on Saturday, August 24th, 2019, an event would happen that would impact two families forever. Linda O'Leary was at the helm of their boat when it collided with another vessel around 11:30 p.m. Aboard that boat was Linda, Kevin, and a friend. Court testimony says the group was returning from a dinner party at another cottage, and the court heard that Linda O'Leary was the designated driver. The other boat involved was called the Nautique, and that was owned by Irv Edwards. This boat was better designed to pull water skiers and people on tubes, but that night it was the perfect night for stargazing. The courts argued that the Nautique did not have their lights on, and since it's presumed that they were still in the water, not like they were not moving in the water. That's what I'm trying to say.
Okay.
Mhm.
They effectively appeared invisible on this moonless night. I can
Mm.
get through it.
Not moonlit, moonless.
Moonless. That was the problem. There was no
Okay.
moonlighting. As the moving boat crashed into the other, passengers on both were knocked around, some fell to the floor, and on the Nautique, 3 people would be seriously injured and 2 people would be fatally injured.
Oh my
Oh
Gary
god.
my.
Poltash, age 64 of Florida, and Susanna Brito, age 48 of Uxbridge, Ontario. So
Hmm.
picture 2 is Gary, picture 3 is Susanna, and picture 4 is the 2 of them, and that would be the last photo taking of them on that day.
Oh my gosh.
Oh,
That's
those
really
are
eerie
creepy
to know.
photos.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Those always
So for
make
those
me.
that are not watching us or maybe haven't gone to YouTube or not YouTube, Instagram,
Mhm.
the photo of Gary is and Susanna is really cute. Like they
Mhm.
were friendly, like they didn't know each other very well. Gary is like mid laugh, and Susanna just looks really happy and calm, and she's like looking past the
Yeah.
photographer, like looking out, and it just looks like a nice kind of
Yeah.
maybe even
They're
like a little
having
bit
a
of a chilly
good
day on the
day.
water, but it looks
Yeah,
nice.
they're wearing jackets and stuff. Looks like there's
So
some type of tower.
um, picture 5 is just a map that kind of shows how wild this coastline can be. So this lake is not like a perfectly round lake with easy to see shoreline. There's lots of little inlets, kind of like Chantel's Lake. Um, so it just kind of shows where both homes were and kind of where these
Yeah.
2 boats met.
Okay.
So you can look at that while I keep talking.
Okay.
During the trial, the lights of the Nautique would be one of the focal points. Prosecutors argue that the lights were off, as witnesses on the Nautique gave testimony, but the defense attorney said that they were on, and they used the testimonies of the stargazers to argue their point, and that will come up later when the judge gives his, ruling. Linda was also tested for her blood alcohol content, and she registered in the alert range. So we see a theme here with boating and
Uh-huh.
drinking.
Yes. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Even though she was a designated driver, when she was tested, that automatically flagged her license to be suspended for 3 days.
Only
She
3 days?
because so it's nothing that you like. You don't lose your license, you don't get a charge, but it's in the alert area, so it's kind of like uh-oh. So it's a 3-day automatic suspension. I guess the assumption is that they do further tests and then it gets more serious. But
When there's no more
Mhm.
alcohol in their system?
well, she told police that she only had 1 drink and it was after the accident. Like, how are you?
Why are you drinking after the accident
Okay.
when you
Yeah,
almost killed
wouldn't she
somebody?
be
There's also I don't go into it, but we can talk about, was she even the driver?
Oh,
Whether or not
when
Linda was drinking while driving the boat that night, she had accidentally killed 2 people, and her drinking was not even really an element at all in the trial.
that's crazy.
I don't know if they didn't need to rely on the alcohol element of it, but that to me would just bolster the case. But it wasn't even
okay.
really brought up. It wasn't even like a main point at all. It was more or less that the other boats had their lights off, therefore it was their fault that they
Okay.
were hit. Anywho, like, don't
Did
boats have
they
lights
is
still?
there a legal requirement? Sorry if you did you mention this that they have to have their lights
Yeah,
Yes.
you do.
on?
If
Yeah.
you're in the
Okay.
water, you have to. So when we went on one of Adim's friends' boats, actually, he had a pontoon boat, and he said that was one of the things that he would get frustrated about so much because so many people would be out there without their lights on. Because immediately, as it was getting dark, he's like putting all these lights all over the sides of the boat. He's putting on their one up top, making sure it's on, and he's like, "See out there, I can just see that boat, but they don't have their light on." Like, yeah, it's bad. And if you're on the water, you have to have your lights on.
Very much like
Yeah,
like
that's
an
what I
airplane,
figured.
how like one side is red and one side's green and it like
Hmm.
alternates. I think a boat is the
Yeah.
exact same. And then that's how you know how to pass on what side you're passing.
And I think there's even something about alcohol you're not allowed anymore. Maybe you get
No.
into this? Okay,
No,
yeah.
I don't go into detail, but it's definitely more strict here in Ontario. Like you're not
Yeah,
allowed to
because
drink and
we were
drive
on one of the lakes.
anything.
No, but like I don't even think we were allowed to have alcohol on the boat in certain areas that we were in.
That I don't know. I know that you have to be wearing a life
Yeah.
jacket. The driver can't be drinking.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, because it's kind of the same thing. Like
It
you
could be
can,
like how it is with driving here where it's like it can't be within reach of
Mhm.
the driver.
and it also can't be open.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because
know.
really, a boat is very much like a vehicle. It's a car. It's a vehicle.
Yeah.
So,
I'm just
Yeah.
very confused why she would drink after this because
Well,
then wouldn't she be worried that they would think she was drinking then? She's
the
probably
Yeah.
easiest
she probably
answer
did
is that
have
she's lying. Yeah.
right. She
Yeah.
probably did have a drink and then she was using that as a cover that she
100%. And I mean, no one is perfect. I think that most people have probably had one drink or two drinks and then driven feeling like, I'm fine, I'm
Mhm.
fine. I think we've all probably said that. And if you have one drink and you time it, then you will not blow anything into the breathalyzer.
Mhm.
But for her to blow into the alert range and claim, oh, I just killed
Mhm.
these two people and then I decided to have a glass of wine on the dock. What?
Oh God.
Anywho, it's going to get worse.
Yay.
Ontario Court Justice Richard Humphrey found that the Nautique had its lights off when it was struck in delivering his verdict. Judge Humphrey noted that the security videos from the O'Leary and Edwards cottages make it clear that the Nautique's lights were not on when the boats came into contact. Okay, but someone still hit the boat and had alcohol in their breath, and it's
Yeah.
like both parties are
I mean,
fault.
it's kind of like, yes, I
It's
understand. Even if I were in a car and I were driving under the influence and I hit
nighttime
another
someone
car
didn't have their lights on, which
just
is
because they didn't have their
illegal.
lights
Yeah,
on,
both people.
it seems like both people should be at fault, but like, I still shouldn't be driving while I'm drinking.
100%. And
Mhm.
also, I don't know if I get into this, but she was also driving, like, because it's very much like a car. They can check, like, the computer and the speedometer. And she was going way too fast. So she's driving
Okay.
fast, and she
Yeah.
had one drink. Even if she had one drink and just got into the boat, like,
Driving that fast so close to a shoreline too?
Yeah.
Like, that's
like,
nuts.
but you know what? It's the same old story. I've done it 100 times. Nothing's ever happened.
Yeah.
Okay. So, as I was saying that the judge was saying that it's clear, it's evident that the lights were in fact off, and the purpose of that venture into the open waters of Lake Joseph by Mr. Edwards and his guests was to acquire an unobstructed view of the night sky without interference from artificial light. So the judge said it defies logic to suggest that they would have traveled all that way into the middle of the lake and then activate the lights, because that would defeat the purpose of
Why they
having
went
your
out there.
stargazing. So what he's trying to say is that if the whole purpose was to go out into pitch black to get the best view
Mhm.
of the stars,
Mm.
whether or not it was a requirement, they wouldn't put the lights on, because that would
Mhm.
add light pollution to their eyes. They
Mhm.
couldn't see the lights. So he's like,
Mhm.
I know they didn't have them on, and it's extremely unfortunate and tragic that things happen to work out perfectly to cause this to happen.
Mm.
So on September 14th, sorry, Lindsay, what?
Oh, I was just gonna say, so even like the red and green, that wouldn't really have
Nothing.
deterred their.
Well, yeah, because you maybe would have seen it. But if Linda's going like however many kilometers per hour
I just mean,
driving a
like, could it be
speedboat,
possible that they had like at least those lights on?
I
And
guess based on both of the camera angles from both places,
Mhm.
it was clear
Completely off.
that's what their evidence is saying. Obviously, the people on board the Nautique said, no, the lights were turned on. But
Yeah.
there's a lot more to play here than just facts, okay? Like,
Like
don't
money?
forget what I said, that this lake has some of the most affluent Canadians and
Yeah,
Americans.
money.
So on September 14th, 2021, Linda O'Leary was found not guilty. In
Okay.
November of that year, the family of Susanna Brito filed a wrongful death lawsuit against the O'Learys, as well as the owner of the Nautique and the person who was driving, two different people.
Mhm.
They were seeking $2 million in damages. And in a super gross move, the O'Learys also filed a lawsuit against the owner and the driver of the other boat, and they were seeking $3 million in damages.
Oh, get fucked.
Now, hold on. Linda was obviously involved in a traumatic event, and she
Yeah.
did suffer a foot injury, which
Oh,
involved
God.
surgery, screws, and steel
Mm.
plates. But when you compare that to the death of two people
Right.
that had families that were literally on a boat to look at stars,
Yeah.
it seems an incredibly poor taste.
Right.
Also, just a reminder, again, if you don't know who Kevin O'Leary is he like a mega superstar? No. But is he a millionaire many times over? Yes. He's
Mm.
extremely wealthy.
I will
Probably
say
one of the richest
that,
personalities. So,
like, if she hadn't been drinking, they didn't have their lights on. She struck the boat. They died.
yeah.
I could see them being like, well, like, I have to live with this guilt now of killing people because
Well,
they were unsafe.
I was half kidding. Like, she was involved. Like, they were all involved in this tragic event. Like, I mean, even if you have
Yeah.
like a truly accident, it be in a car or whatever, it's impactful for everyone.
Right.
Yes, but
Like,
it's
you could
very gross
mentally
to.
be messed up over that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not saying you should try to get money off it per se,
No.
but like,
But
I
the
can
fact that-
understand someone being like forever changed from that.
If I wasn't
Yeah.
drinking and I hit a boat because they had their lights off and I wasn't going too fast and all of that and I hit them
Yeah.
and it killed them and then they tried to sue me for wrongful death, then I'd be like, guys, like I'm traumatized over this because
Yeah.
people didn't do
Your
what they were supposed to
actions
do.
traumatized me.
But in this mix,
now I have to live with that guilt.
If we take away the drinking and
And the
even
speeding.
even if we leave in the speed because it's her,
Mhm.
like whatever.
Is there a
take a-
speed limit on the
Oh
lake?
yeah, there definitely is.
What's
Yeah.
there's the
But if you take away the drinking and the people, it's by law you have to have your boat well lit and you have to have all these things in place. Linda seriously injured her foot, caused the death of 2 people, and what if she was the breadwinner, right? And then she can't work, she has PTSD. Like, I mean, the fact that she was
okay,
drinking,
there could
just
be a
takes-
lot of
it just
there could be
takes-
a lot of
It's not that I don't have sympathy, but I'm like, if you're drinking and you cause it, that I'm like, I don't know, reap what you sow.
yeah, I don't have much sympathy for drunk
the
drivers. I won't
speed
lie.
limit
neither.
in Lake Joseph is 9 kilometers per hour within
She
30
was
meters of the
not-
within 30 meters of the shoreline. So I don't know if they were
Well,
30
and they were
meters of the
definitely
shoreline.
getting close to the shorelines.
Because I mean, it's very narrow.
It feels like you're always
especially-
close to shorelines here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I just
Okay.
have a little bit more,
Anyways,
and then
yeah, continue.
it gets a
We're
little.
getting in the
bit
time limit here.
Yeah.
nicer. That's not my fault. Paula Brito would say, oh, this is the sister. I don't know if I said that. Paula Brito would say that the O'Learys have still never apologized or even admitted fault, even just as the Canadian, like, empathy, like I'm taking accountability, like I'm sorry this happened. She wishes that they would. And Susanna was a mother to 3 children, was described as a very devoted mom who loved nature and lived life to the fullest. Gary Poltash was the father to 2 children, older, I think. Susanna's were like all, preteens and teens at this point. But I think Gary had grown kids. His daughter would say that she found some comfort in knowing that he was with his loved ones at the time. He had a great last day. He lived his life up till its final moments to the fullest. She goes on to describe him as a fun-loving man, but also hardworking. He was a great dad who loved sports. And then this is really sweet. Alex, who is the son of Gary, set up a GoFundMe for the children of Susanna in an incredible, touching move. It has raised $25,000, and it's set aside for their education. Alex says, "We have been thinking of a way to honor and respect the values that were near and dear to her father's heart. Although we never got to meet her, we're told that Susanna and my father became fast friends while enjoying the beauty on the lake. Gary was a true believer in the power of education, and thus we thought it was appropriate to create this for the benefit of Susanna's children. It's our wish that the legacy of our father lives on, so we are establishing this GoFundMe for her children." They put the names, but I'm not going to do that.
Yeah.
Please join us in honoring Susanna and my father. And a little interesting, Irv Edwards, the owner of the Nautique, was the top donor of $3,000.
Oh wow.
Oh, okay.
I looked for information on the 2 pending lawsuits, but since that's going to be in civil court, I will get no information from that. I hope the O'Learys got nothing. Like,
Yeah, me too.
Everyone
Yeah.
had a bad day, but 2 people were literally killed for no reason.
Yeah,
And they
for
had
reckless
families.
driving.
Reckless
For reckless
driving.
driving. Yeah.
So I have way less sympathy for the millionaire who killed the 2 people that were there, like as guests. Like they weren't
Right.
the other millionaires; they were
If
there
you had
visiting
been
friends.
safe on your end, at least maybe this would have been a low speed collision.
Yeah.
Like
There's
Yeah,
no
they-
way they came from dinner with friends and weren't drinking at that dinner. Sorry.
Oh,
There's
no.
no
So
way.
Lindsay has to have her story. We have just enough time, but I just want to put this out there. Kevin O'Leary makes a ton of money. He's a public figure. He works in the States, he makes all the money for his family. Wouldn't it make more sense that the mother, who maybe stay-at-home mom, doesn't work, said, "I'll take the fall"?
1000%. That's
Conjecture.
Why
Yeah.
Conjecture. I don't know, but just
I don't know. I don't
that
know.
Yeah.
that was
If
kind of
that
like
happened, 1000%. That's why that
here,
happened.
but we are thinking.
you don't want me.
spitballing.
You don't want me on a jury because I will never be nice to millionaires ever. Okay, so that's my story.
Okay. Well, thank you, Megan.
Yes, thank you.
So
Um,
welcome.
So we can get
We're-
right into mine
we're all
now,
just
I
bringing
guess.
each other down.
Lots of
Yeah.
fun stuff happening.
Why did we
today.
pick this?
That was my idea. I'm sorry, guys. I don't know.
Chantel's
Remember
not
I
allowed to
watched-
pick group topics anymore. Just kidding.
I watched. I remember I was reading an article about this one girl who like she fell off a boat and like her arm like got cut off by the brothers, and I was like, oh, this is kind of an interesting story, because then she was like, it's okay, like I learned how to do all these things without my
she's
arm,
like
and it was like,
she's like the non-homophobic version of Bethany Hamilton who had her arm bit off by a
yeah,
shark.
yeah.
Okay.
So, well, I actually don't know any more about her. Maybe she's not. I
Can
don't.
you imagine like she's
She could be a raging homophobe.
Wasn't she
I don't know.
transphobic? Or is she
She
homophobic
could
and
be. I have
transphobic?
no idea.
I feel like if you're transphobic, you probably aren't open to any other thing other than like white Christian straight.
But anyways, that's where this like idea came from ages ago,
Mm.
and then I never even covered that story this time because I found
I
out
mean,
about
that
Lake
doesn't
Lanier,
sound like
so
a
here
great
we go.
story either, Chantel. So
No, it was because she was like, "Hey, I like did all
Okay,
these great
we-
things afterwards, and like maybe we should be better and
yeah.
safer around boats." I think she was like swimming to get back on it or something. I can't remember the full story, and then like the
Oh,
rudder
okay.
it came on
Well,
and it like
yeah.
chopped her.
Remember the whole Violet Jessup, what would you do?
Yeah.
yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
that was if you
Violet
were
would
gonna
have
be chopped up to
swam.
death. Yeah,
Yeah.
just she would have swam away.
Yeah, she
Violet
suddenly
was
could
like,
swim.
"Not
She couldn't
again."
swim. She's like, now I think I can do it. So
Yeah.
Okay, Lindsay,
Okay.
your turn now to
Sorry,
bum us
go
out.
ahead. Yeah.
Okay. So we're gonna go back to 1997 on July 7th, 2 days before Chantel's birthday, ninth birthday.
Yeah.
Ninth birthday, yeah.
My 9th birthday.
There were a group of tourists out on a boat called the Green Machine, and they're surprised when they hear a man yelling out on the water. They are located off in Newport Beach, off the coast of California, which is just south
Mhm.
from Los Angeles, for those who do not know, like myself.
Why did I think that Newport was on the East Coast? Is there more than one
I thought so
Newport?
too. I feel
There
like
has to be.
there has to be.
Someone's
I thought,
like, oh, you dumb idiots, of course there's two. I'm like, I don't know.
no, when I first was like
It is
researching
giving
this
like
case.
Connecticut or
I
like Rhode
that's
Island.
exactly what I was
Okay.
thinking. So I'm like, this is actually like LA.
Someone
south
tell
of
us.
LA.
Someone tell us right now in like a month. Is there a Newport, Connecticut?
Yes, please do.
I think there must be.
I'm
There's
not
gotta-
even
there's
gonna
probably
Google it.
several Newports.
Sorry, go ahead.
So they hear a man yelling in the water, holding onto this boogie board attached to a speedboat that's going in circles.
What?
So the speedboat is doing what they call the circle of death, and this
Stop.
can
Oh my
happen
god.
when the operator loses control of the boat, and it basically turns the motor in a sharp direction, and it causes the boat to just rapidly go in circles, which can be very dangerous because if someone like falls out of the boat, then you might get hit by the boat after. So,
Yeah.
Like
And maybe
Chantel's
lose an
first
arm.
case
Yeah.
yes.
that you didn't even cover.
So it can be extremely dangerous. Which, side note, first photo, if you want to go to my photos,
Yes,
it's always
yes.
important to operate your boat with a kill switch.
Lock yourself
So
in.
if you
just like on a
do
jet
fall
ski.
out, it'll
Or the
turn
treadmill.
The boat off.
Even on
Yes.
the treadmill, I do this.
So like the treadmill.
Okay,
yeah.
there you
I've
go.
had
Very
had that
important.
before,
Yeah.
where I just started flying
And I'm
backwards
like,
on the
I
treadmill.
don't know what's happened.
I lost
but-
I lost my footing, and it just like
Yeah.
yeah.
So important safety notice, guys. Kill switch. Especially
I
for
didn't know that they
operating a
had
boat.
that. So yeah, that's great.
Also, cool name for
Yeah.
a band. That must already exist.
Kill switch
Probably.
engage.
Yeah.
There you go.
There you go. So the man in the water was named Eric Beckler. He was
Eric.
clearly upset. Yes. I thought we don't like this Eric. Maybe. I don't know.
Oh shit. Okay.
So spoiler. So Eric is pulled safely to the boat, where he explains that a rogue wave came out of nowhere, and his poor
Hmm.
wife Peggy was taken, like the rogue wave just pushed her off the boat, and he didn't see her after that. So
Yeah. So again, you do not want me on a jury because I'll never believe a man either.
so Peggy
oh, your
and
wife
Eric,
died.
Yeah.
Did she?
Sorry.
right? And the waters on this day were considered pretty good. Some would say ideal conditions. So to have a rogue wave, which we've talked about before,
Yeah, which is
we've
so
talked
rare.
about the rogue wave. It is very rare. It can happen when waters are calm, though,
But,
right?
like,
So it's not.
Yes. Yeah.
It's not crazy.
Occam's
but-
razor. Like if the seas, if you can bounce a quarter on the ocean, likely there was not a rogue wave 15 minutes ago.
Exactly. So Peggy and Eric Beckler, the reason they were even out there is they were celebrating their 5th anniversary and Peggy's
Lindsay.
38th birthday.
Lindsay.
Yes. So
He
apparently
killed
they were
her
having-
on her 38th birthday during their anniversary.
Megan's
Well-
already jumping to conclusions.
You're jumping to conclusions. We don't know that yet.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah,
So-
I'm sure a rogue wave came. Okay.
Yeah,
Sorry.
Let's
Rogue
talk about
wave.
Peggy for a second, because she was, you can go to my next photo. Peggy was from Dexter, New Mexico. She was the youngest of
Ooh,
4.
Dexter.
She was very athletic, a
Aw.
great dancer. She was unfortunately born with scoliosis, which caused her to wear a neck brace a lot when she was young. But
Just like
because
Romy
of
Michelle.
this and everything she
Yeah.
went, yeah, everything she went through, she wanted to be a physical therapist.
Aw.
And
Aw.
she wanted to do this in Southern California.
She's such a
Um,
blonde bombshell
yes,
90s.
Love.
exactly. She
Like
was
my
living her
mom had this
best.
haircut. Yeah.
I was
Yeah.
about to say it looks like Meg's mom.
Yeah. And not in a weird way. It's also giving Carla Homolka, but that was also just the style.
That was
It's
the
not
style
Yeah,
then.
it's
that's
not
just
Where you
Peggy's
had those
fault.
like kind of wispy bangs that were tied up in
Yeah.
the front in a little poof.
Yes. And it's
yeah,
like,
And
hey,
yeah,
do you have dark roots?
yeah,
Cool. That's really in.
1000%.
yeah,
Yeah. But she
rock
looks
that.
great. She looks like my mom a lot. It's really weird, actually.
Yeah, she was described as being very driven, very happy person. One
Aw.
day, so
She light up a
she's
room.
living in Southern California now. She's a physical therapist. Everything's going well, but she
So
doesn't have a man
she achieved her
yet.
dream, and now she just needs love.
She just needs love. Exactly. So one day she meets a young man on the beach playing volleyball, and his name is Eric
Mm.
Beckler. They end up getting married and they have 3 kids together. They were also business partners too. So she is a physical therapist. They ran the physical therapy business together, and Eric handled all the other side, like technical things.
I
And
already
it
know what
seemed to be
happened.
going well. It seemed to be going well. Okay.
Seemed okay.
Seemed.
Yep.
Um,
They kept up
after,
appearances.
yeah, they did for the most part. Now there was some issue that came up where they had ended up selling their business and worked there as employees, and they ended up getting in hot water and getting fired from their company because the company claimed that they had been overcharging like Medicare, like $1 million in total. So there was some controversy going on
In the
there.
90s?
Yes.
Fuck me.
Yeah,
That
that wasn't like a
Okay.
small amount. So it was, anyway, they were under investigation for that.
Okay, wait, was Peggy like super in on that too?
I actually don't know.
I'm just gonna say no. She doesn't give me that vibe. But
Yeah.
She
Peggy
definitely,
doesn't give me
like,
that.
the way her people talked about her, it seemed that wasn't her, the way she would do
Mm.
things. So I'm wondering if it was more the
Well,
business person.
wonder no more. I can just assume rightfully that it was all the man that did it.
So after they found Eric, they were looking for Peggy. She was nowhere to be found. The Coast Guard was looking, and unfortunately she was never found and her body was never found.
Oh my god.
Wait,
So
do
they
we know for
started,
sure she got on the boat?
yes, she was on the
Okay.
boat. So during the investigation, Eric told the detectives that they had a really strong marriage, and they decided to ask some other people like to back up this claim. So they asked one of his best friends, Kobe, and he
Kobe?
confirmed, yep, not the Kobe, but some other guy.
Okay. Every time I throw like trash into the bucket, I'm just like, go babe. And I always
Kobe.
miss, but
I
you
know.
I try.
We tried.
I am nothing like Kobe.
No, that's right.
I know. Unfortunately, just saying Kobe doesn't make you like Kobe.
I
but-
know, right?
Every
God.
time I'm like, this is when it's gonna like just sink. It's gonna sail through. And it
Yeah.
never does. Yeah,
But
it
like,
does.
Mamba mentality. You just
Right.
gotta believe in yourself. um, so he said that they had a great marriage, and Peggy's friends said that, overall it seemed good, but she did confide with her friends that there's some financial troubles.
There's always stuff like everyone's. Oh, it's perfect. Like, no, it's not.
Eric's mom actually thought there might be a different scenario happening here. She thought maybe Peggy could be faking her own death because before this happened, she said Peggy confided in her that she could have potential jail time over the stuff with the clinic. So she's like, maybe that's what's happening here. But
Eric's
Peggy's
mom
family,
needs to stop watching Lifetime.
right. Eric's family said there's no way, like, she would never just leave her kids. And that just doesn't make sense. I know there's no body found, but could have other explanations. It is in the ocean. So,
Mhm.
her family also
Tides,
said she was
currents.
really, really strong swimmer. Like, so they just weren't buying that she would just drown. Like,
Yeah.
she would have tried
you.
to survive. She was very athletic. They were just very weirded out for the fact that she just never came out.
Disappeared. Yeah.
So the case seems a little stale at this point, but Eric's friend Kobe ends up coming forward a little while later and says he has a new story to share. So he claimed that at the time he was actually a little scared to say this, but he actually knew their relationship wasn't that strong. That Eric had actually talked about the fact that he was over his wife and didn't really want her around, and
Okay.
even casually mentioned how he just bring her body out to the ocean.
Kobe, Jesus Christ.
So he
Right.
literally
He
gave
like
himself
kind
away.
of he kind of said
Yeah,
like
he
would
gave
have
the
killed her in the
plan.
ocean.
Kind of
Right.
said exactly what happened.
Okay,
was
hold
gonna
on, hold on.
happen.
Kobe was like, no, there's no way you do that. And then he eventually came around and told the truth. So
Right.
okay.
He like
But
pretty
okay, we can't-
pretty soon after. Like I think he was just in the moment. He said he was shocked. He didn't know like
He
what to
couldn't believe
think.
it that it
no,
actually
totally
been
Right.
fair. Because like I mean that is hard to get your head around.
Probably for
I
a
would say
moment
most
too.
times.
He's probably trying to think maybe it really did happen, and he's like, no, there's just too many coincidences here. This
Oh,
doesn't make
shit.
sense. So of course they wanted some evidence, so they sent him to talk to Eric with a wire, but of course Eric doesn't give him anything, so it doesn't really go anywhere. But they're now on to Eric.
Mhm.
Good.
They're
Or at least like
suspicious.
they're curious because if you say all that shit and then it does happen, it's
Right.
like
Because
well,
based on the evidence, the Coast Guard initially thought, yeah, this like there's so many boating accidents that happen. This could have happened. They were kind of buying his story.
well, and also cops are not trained in like marine science, so like they don't even know what a rogue wave is.
Right.
So
And I did watch this other clip though where one of the cops said that he thought it was kind of suspicious that when they were talking to him originally, he seemed okay, but then when he got to shore, they felt like he was kind of putting on a little bit of an act, like being like, "Oh, I could barely move." Like,
so
I'm
like
just
more people are around, so he's gonna ham it up or something.
yes, that's what it
Hmm.
seemed like.
Hmm.
So another reason to be a little suspicious is there was also a $2 million life insurance policy
Who has that on their bingo
in the
card?
event
Everybody.
of his wife's death.
Oh my
And
god,
they're having
Eric.
financial troubles. Oh my goodness.
Oh,
God.
weird. That's all weird.
Seems all
no,
the
he wouldn't
up
do
and
it.
up.
What a coincidence.
So without this confession though, and there's no body, it's hard to figure out what to do next.
It's all
But
circumstantial, but like I don't know,
Exactly.
circumstances.
exactly 3 months after his wife disappears, he meets a new lady. So you can turn to go to the next photo. Her name is Tina New. She's this beautiful model and actress.
She's very beautiful.
She's
Yeah, her hair is
yeah.
like my god,
Wow,
it's
yes.
beautiful
She's
red.
so much hair too.
She did a lot of modeling stuff to LA. Obviously, she's in the right town, and she did
Right.
like some stints on like Baywatch and like shows like that. So, he meets her, and she moves in like literally like the next day after they meet. So it starts to go very quickly.
Love bombing. Excuse me.
Yes.
Mhm.
And he brings her around the family soon after, and she says that she feels a little awkward because she's like, well, like I
'Cause
kind of
she's
know
normal?
that. Yeah, she's like, your wife just disappeared, and now I'm here, and
She's
but
only
she said he
semi-normal.
treated
if She's moved
her.
into him within like a few days. Like,
Yeah, she
yeah,
said that
I'll move in, but I won't
so
meet your family.
she didn't have like she had some troubles in her life like for drugs, and she'd always been in bad relationships where she was abused and stuff. So like a man that was treating her well, she was like,
Yeah,
yes.
I
Got
can,
you.
and,
Okay.
and also too. I mean, when you fall in love for the first time,
Mhm.
and you maybe really need a win. Yeah, I
Yeah.
think your
Mhm.
heart maybe gets carried away. But it sounds like she had a reality check when she's like at the family's house, and she's like, "Holy shit! Like, what am I doing? Like, you
Yeah.
just lost your wife. I moved in. I'm here at Christmas. Like, this is insane."
But she believed him right at the time, and then
Yeah.
she saw like this
Okay.
man with 3 little kids. Oh, because I tell you guys,
Yeah,
I think
yeah.
that, yeah. So he has 3 kids, and she's like, he probably needs. She felt bad about that situation too, so she
Okay.
wanted to help him, and things were going well. Um, but the detectives kind of saw this as like, you know what, this is seems like they're having a fast relationship. Something might go wrong, and we might end up getting some information later. So, their relationship ends up becoming more turbulent as time goes on. Can you imagine?
Oh my
Ugh.
god, almost like there's a pattern.
Right.
A pattern.
So
Pattern.
Pat.
pattern. Yes. So one night
Pat.
they're watching something they've taped, and then a news segment comes
Titanic.
on with Titanic is not.
What if it was?
Hey, it's
Ooh.
1997.
I know.
I know. They're
Oh.
watching Titanic. Actually, well,
They're
I
at the
think by the
theaters.
time this happened, Titanic
And
would
then
have
and
been
then a
out.
news bulletin comes up.
Yeah.
So they're watching a news segment, and basically Tina's like, okay, this is really confusing me right now because everything you've told me about your wife's disappearance isn't matching up with this news
Oh my
segment
God.
about the reality.
So a new segment
So
on his case came up on the.
yes.
Oh
Oh my
my
God.
God.
I think it was
And-
something that was taped, like they taped over part of it, and I guess maybe he had taped it or something. But
Oh,
like he had told
gross,
her
he
that
taped
there
it?
was huge waves that day, and then she found out there was no like waves. It was calm, and there was some other things too that she was like, "Yeah, you've been lying to me about this. Like, what's going on?"
Ooh, honey.
So he ends up confessing to her that he bludgeoned his wife with like a weight or like a dumbbell or something.
What the fuck?
And he ties her, like hog ties her feet and arms together. And he puts her in a garbage bag with his weights and he dumps her in the ocean. So at this point,
Oh.
she's like, oh my God. But she wants to play it cool because she's like,
Can
this
you-
guy's a murderer.
I have
Can you
chills
imagine
all
the
over.
adrenaline rushing through your body as you're
Yeah.
hearing the story?
So she's like, okay. She said she even like slept with him that night to try to like not.
That's called fawning. That's like
Yeah.
fight, flight, freeze, fawn. I'm gonna have sex with you
Right.
so you don't fucking kill me.
She
And
was
he-
like, I
Yeah.
need to like prove to him that I'm not freaked out about this.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Do whatever you need to. Don't
but
die.
she's like, I definitely like telling someone about this, and that's the right thing to do.
Shit.
So she tells the cops, and they're like, well,
Good
we really need
girl.
to get him to confess to you on the wire so we have
Jesus
evidence. So
Oh,
she
just throw her back in. Good idea.
right,
Yeah.
yeah. So
Can you
they
just do what you did one more time?
send
Make it
her out,
natural.
and she's having dinner with him, and he ends up like some of the stuff he's saying is kind of like leaning towards like he did it, like he wasn't denying it essentially. um and so they end up like leaving the restaurant, and I guess he asked to drive, and they're like, cops are like, oh, like I hope like this is not the way we planned it. She was supposed to be driving.
We didn't think this through, dude.
Right. But they end up getting an argument in the car, and he does like say incriminatory things that they can actually use. And then she
Okay.
ends up like kicking him out of the car because they're getting really heated. So luckily he does get out of the car. But they're able to end up use this evidence in court. But one thing that stood out in court was he said that he had bludgeoned her, which would result in a lot of blood, but the boat had like
I
no
was gonna
blood.
ask.
Yeah, so there
But
was no
obviously
blood in
he
the
did the-
boat except for one drop.
But he
or
must have
something.
bludgeoned her somewhere else. Like, he didn't
Well,
bludgeon her in the
so
boat with
they
his weight.
That would be harder to get.
they
someone
ended
on
up
the boat.
doing like more advanced luminol testing, and they did find evidence of more blood.
Oh, okay.
So, but they tried to disprove her based on that's part of the story. They also tried to disprove her because she had been a drug addict. She had,
Oh my God.
she'd also been charged for like minor things in the
She
past.
smoked a
So
joint once.
Yeah, she had a rough life and stuff. So they were trying to discredit her, but she stayed strong. At one point she was even almost felt like bad about trying to incriminate him because
Oh, 'cause
she
these
loves
kids weren't
him.
going to
Like,
have
She's all. Oh
any
my God.
parent.
I would
and-
rather the kids be with the grandparents than be with a literal murderer who murdered their mother.
The mother.
exactly.
Yeah.
Like, he's not a good
Um,
person. He's not. Oh my God.
No.
She did the
He's
right
like, I
thing.
would never do it again. So in 2001, he is found guilty and he is serving a life sentence. So
Hell yeah.
it's 'cause it's one of those cases with no body. It gets tricky. But really,
Yeah, but
it was
if
Yeah.
if there's no body and there's blood on the boat, luminol testing, nothing else. Like,
right,
yeah, I
And
know
a
that it's extremely hard, but there's enough.
semi-confession.
right,
Well,
where he said
a
he
2
actually
times
weighted her
confession.
body down. Like,
I am shocked though
yeah.
that nothing was ever found.
yeah,
And I
guess if
also
he
wonder
waited.
how he cleaned. Like, I know that salt water is very corrosive. Like, maybe he just
Yeah,
took buckets and washed it away, and then
I'm not
like-
sure. He must have been prepared though, right? He must
oh,
have set
he
up
was
everything.
definitely prepared.
And
That's why
they
I'm
also
wondering, like-
found
Okay.
oh sorry that some of his weights from his set at home
Were
were
missing.
missing.
And they didn't notice that
So-
until how much longer? Oh my God.
Well, it's 2001 when he's found guilty. So
But we need more women detectives because I'd be like, hey, that set is missing the 10s or missing
Yeah.
the 30s or whatever. I don't know what weights come
Yeah.
in 10, 20, 45. So
I
whatever.
mean, for me, it starts at 5, but I'm weak, so
Yeah.
I can do 10s, but like, don't hand me 15. What am I
heard,
going to
yeah.
do with that?
yeah.
I'm
Were you
not
gonna say
big
something,
I'm
original.
gonna put it
Chantel?
back. That's what I'm gonna do with that. No, I guess my question was like, so obviously if he bludgeoned her on the boat, then he planned to kill her that day. Like,
Yes,
it wasn't
he brought
like
up
he
his
got into a
weights
heat of a
and
moment
stuff,
fight.
and,
Like, that's why I was so
bring these
confused
weights
about, like,
just
well,
in
maybe the
case.
blood wasn't there because he bludgeoned her at home and then got her into the boat
No,
and blah,
so
blah,
much
blah. It
easier
was
to have
like,
your victim
Yeah.
walk themselves onto the boat
yeah.
rather than
Yeah.
you pick them up and carry them. And
God.
Yeah, I
Holy
think they
shit.
were playing like, this is a great day. I don't know how he
Yeah.
would have.
it's your birthday and your anniversary. It's got a nice romantic time.
Yeah.
And I know this candlestick looks like a 25-pound weight, but it's not. It's
Yeah.
a
The
candlestick.
only thing
Yeah.
I was confused on was like, unless the boat kind of went into the circle of death on its own after.
No, he did that. I'm sure.
Well, but I just mean like he would have had to jump out far enough. Like he would have had to be careful not to kill himself getting
what
away
I
from the boat.
imagine is
Yeah.
that he probably tried to rig it so that it would do like a soft spin, kind of do its own thing, and then he could hold on to the boogie board. So it's like, look, I'm not even in the boat. I didn't have anything to do with it.
Yeah, it was
And
trailing
then,
behind.
and then
yeah.
maybe as it went, it gained momentum and it just tightened up the turn and then got
Mm.
more dangerous.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
he was like, this is perfect, but actually I'm gonna die soon, so come save me.
Yeah.
Fuck.
This
And
isn't
you know
the
what?
plan.
If they
Yeah.
never found him, they
Mhm.
never would have known the truth because he would have died too, and then they never would have known
Yeah.
that he actually killed her, and then be like, "Oh no, what a tragic story! A young
Right.
couple."
And I don't think they were like, I mean, he probably knew he'd be found on like such a calm day with other boats around, I'm sure.
But don't want the rogue waves though.
What about the rogue waves? Yeah.
A
They're gonna
rogue
get
wave.
ya.
So yeah. So yeah, for sure.
Wow.
But yeah, that's the tragic story of Peggy. And luckily,
Damn.
Tina was able to assist the investigation. But yeah.
Wow. I feel bad for Tina too. Like, what a fucked up thing to get yourself in the middle of. Like,
yeah, she thinks she finds a good guy, and no.
opposite.
Ugh.
Mhm.
Well, those were all unique, bad stories, but interesting.
Yeah,
Yeah, I didn't think it was gonna get this dark. Honestly, I don't know what I thought, but
I know. Well, yay, boating accidents. I mean, not yay, but like,
Yay! boating
Somehow I feel like mine were
accidents.
lighter now. I don't know.
Yeah, yours.
no,
seem
yours
like
are worse because
all those dead
Children.
children.
Children, yeah.
Yeah,
Ooh.
Yeah, I feel like you
children
win.
are yeah, you win worst.
Sorry, I know.
Jesus
I know we
Christ.
normally try to keep children off limits, but like this was, yeah.
Yeah, well, it sounds like your
Uh,
story is gonna. I'm really interested for next week. See what's
Yes.
what spooky
will be
things you have
good.
to tell us.
And
so.
the more ghosty stuff without real actual death, maybe a little
Mhm.
lighter and good for
Yeah.
us.
Yeah.
There's still gonna be some deaths.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I
Yeah.
assumed. I mean, haunted.
No, if I
haunted
hear a
lake,
noise in
you-
my house, I'd much rather it be a ghost than another person.
Yeah.
What about child
Murder or
ghost?
ghost?
Oh,
Ooh.
ooh, yeah.
That one just wants a mom.
Aw.
Aw.
Yeah, I know.
Unless it's
Why
like
do
actually a
you?
demon pretending to be a child. 'Cause we know this.
Which
Oh,
has
sorry.
happened.
Annabelle.
Yeah. Well, I'm starting to
Well-
lose my natural light. It's getting dark here. and I
it's
should
Yeah.
turn my
well,
light
it's
on,
dark
but-
here too, but I have
yeah.
like spooky stuff in the background. Watch us on YouTube. You get to
Yeah.
see my little cat Stuffy. that
Every
I
once in a
have, and-
while, your TV has been like distracting me. All of a sudden, there was just like
I
mummies
know. I
and
was
like
like,
skeletons coming out of a
yeah,
house.
I
So
watched
was
a
like,
couple
oh,
times.
Pay
Like, pay
attention to me,
attention.
not the mummies in the
I
background.
can't help it.
We like spooky things. Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
Well,
Okay.
thanks guys, and
I
we'll
don't know
see
what to
when
say.
are we? I don't know. We're recording next soon. We have,
See you soon.
Yeah.
See you next Wednesday for sure. We
Yeah,
will be here.
You guys will see
Yes.
us next week.
talking about
Yes.
something. Oh, and also next week. Oh no, yeah. Sorry, I forgot how time works. Yeah, next week will be Chantel's other case because we're recording, and that's how time works.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
all good.
okay.
I figured it out.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you for listening today. We loved having you. If you liked the episode, share with your friends, family, or anyone who would enjoy it. Also, take a moment to review our podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or YouTube. Leaving us a like or comment really helps. If you'd like to buy us a coffee, please visit our coffee page at www.ko-fi.com/coastfiles. Email us at coastfilespod@gmail.com. Follow us on Instagram at coastfilespod, or visit our website at www.coastfiles.com. You can find the sources for today's episode on our website. See you next week with a new episode.